From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome in to the most ridiculous podcast in sports and pop culture. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Heyo.
You can find us on the three majors of social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's crack open this cold beer and let's get after it.
Let's do it. Oh, I should crack open the cold beer, huh? I was not paying attention, dude.
We've got a dark black raspberry sour from Tailgate.
Yeah.
It was one of the only other tailgate beers they had at the place I went that we hadn't tried yet.
Really, I really should get some lessons in learning how to drink. I opened the beer before I put the koozie on, and so now I'm trying to koozie up after I'm. This is on me. This is on, and also Foster's though. This is also on Foster's.
Yeah, we got some videos coming out with some Foster's, Australian for piss. But how are you this week, bud?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Had a good weekend. Hit the pool. We had a awesome Friday night.
Yeah.
Shout out to old Paula. That's OLE. That's not old. That's not old Paula. You got to be very clear when you talking about a woman and use the ol descriptor. Yeah. Ol descriptor. Went to this nice little place in Murph. And then had some good food, and then did our first official James Bond drinking game.
Yeah, it was a shit show.
That was rough, dude. That was rough. We there was a whole lot of factors that came into play on how rough it was. Mostly we ate for 2 hours and continued to drink while we were eating, and then decided, let's do it. Yeah. It's time.
And it's a lot of drinking rules.
Yeah, it was too many. And whoever made those rules and said finish your drink whenever 007 is within 12 minutes of the movie, 007 had been said 4 times.
Yeah.
So it was rough.
Yeah.
But hit the pool. Stephanie's family's Father's Day thing. Also, video not out yet, but one you guys will see. A dope slip and slide video. Yeah. It's probably one of our doper videos we've had, and we've had some dope videos. Yeah. So,
but
how about you, man?
Pretty good, man. Yeah, just working. It's hot. It's getting hot outside, dude. I hate this time of year. It's just too hot. But super excited for our Baltimore trip coming up.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a dope time.
Boom, 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 boom.
But don't forget, check us out on What a Maneuver and Patreon to support the show. The full version of our James Bond drinking game will be up on Patreon when I get that finished. And don't forget, June 26th is our live show with Paul and Zach McCann over at Tailgate HQ. Yeah, it's a sour beer. But yeah, it's going to be a good time. Come out 12:30. We'll probably get it started around 12:45, 1 o'clock. We've got some giveaways. It's going to be a lot of fun. But let's hop straight into the news.
Everything you need to know about what's happening on the ice. It's time for news from inside the boards.
Dougie Hamilton could be on the move. He's unrestricted and seeking more than the Canes want to spend on the 28-year-old. The fact that they don't want to spend that much is reported by The Athletic. Where do you think you think that you think they'll cave and keep him, or do you think he'll find a new home here soon?
I think they'd be stupid not to keep him. I mean, they were on the cusp of a cup, I mean, it's really crazy for me to think that they're gonna just let him go because they don't want to spend the money on a dominant defenseman in this league. I don't know that they will keep him. I don't know a whole lot about their general management and and their how do they stick to their guns type of deal. But I can tell you that a lot of teams would be chomping at the bit to get him in and spend the money on him. So, but let's say he doesn't stay with the Canes. Where do you think a good landing spot for him would be?
Montreal.
Montreal would be good. I think that
The Rangers
would be a good fit as well, no question. I think that the Panthers might be a decent fit for him. His style of hockey kind of fits theirs. But realistically, I don't think there's there's bad spots that he probably wouldn't be able to do much, but I don't think there's many that will be turning their nose up at old Dougie Hamilton.
Pittsburgh?
Yeah, Pittsburgh could use it. Chris Letang is getting a little older, and if they're going to be keeping Crosby and Malkin, they want to surround them with pieces if they have the money. Edmonton, realistically, if we're really talking about a place that needs Dougie Hamilton, it's Edmonton. They have some great defensemen on Edmonton's team, but not anybody like Hamilton or Yossi.
What do you think about
Carlson.
Nashville?
I think we're a little defense heavy. I think that obviously I'd love to have him, but I think that if we're going to spend that kind of money, then we need to be spending it elsewhere. Yeah. Personally, I think our defense was not a problem. Our one big problem on defense was our third pairing, and I was really pleased with our third pairings all year. All different groups of the third pairing that we had into place. The one move that Nashville made, bringing in Goodbranson, I think that was a great move. He really gave a different plug in, but we were much better on that third pair that you didn't. You remember when Yannick Weber and Matt Irwin were on the third pair, it was like, okay, not if they're going to score, when are they going to score and how. So I would love to have him. Obviously, I'm not turning my nose up at that. I just don't think that roster-wise it's a good fit for either party.
For sure. Jason Spezza re-signs the lease for NHL minimum. So that, he was
like 50 cents.
Yeah, so that's a decent little pickup for them. There wasn't much transaction news going on outside of the obvious playoff coverage, which we'll get to a little bit later. So let's jump straight into outside the NHL.
Now that you know what's happening inside the boards, time for the rest of the headlines with news from outside the boards.
The Supreme Court of the U.S. on Monday unanimously ruled in favor of college athletes seeking unlimited benefits tied to education, which is a big win for, justice, and also for, these young adults getting what's due to them a little bit. They're still not getting an actual paycheck, but now laptops, things that can be tied to any form of education, can now be given to them. And it's before, if they needed a laptop or something, they couldn't get it.
Right. Yeah. They couldn't have somebody give them a laptop. I remember being at MTSU when Dwight Dasher was there playing quarterback. He literally got dinged by the NCAA for gambling with some old men. I am more intrigued. Obviously, this is a much needed, and I really don't care. My opinion, you should be able to get whatever you can get whenever you can get it. Obviously, they're limiting, I'm just ready for the guy that's, I doubt that most student athletes are in anatomy classes, but I'm just ready for the strip club bill that's paid because dude's in anatomy. Okay. So this was a learning experience for him.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the salesmanship of the different benefits that they get. Like the Ohio State guys that got tattoos.
Yeah.
He's in art class.
Yeah, he's an art major.
He's in art. He drew the tat himself.
Yeah.
They're like, it literally says, no
regrets,
no regrets, suck my balls in Old English. And it was like, that was his theme was Old English. Okay. So, but no, what a huge win for the, and as well as I do that when we get a 9-0 ruling in the Supreme Court, it is overwhelming.
Yeah.
Towards one.
Well, the NCAA, decided to come out and pretty much say, like, we understand where they're coming from, but we still believe that we have the final say on the matter. It's like, no, dude, you literally there is no bigger final say than the Supreme Court. They're just like, yeah, we understand. Like, they're just like, we agree to disagree is what they're saying.
It's a funny thing about the Supreme Court of what a lot of folks don't understand. And we had this a lot in 2013 when the ruling on gay marriage came into play. The Supreme Court doesn't make any laws. They interpret the laws that are already on the books. And so they didn't say, okay, well, we're going to make a new law that says they can do that. They're saying that these are the current laws that that our country operates by. How do we interpret it? And so this wasn't a debate. They didn't, Gorsuch or John Roberts did not call the NCAA and was like, hey, we're going to do this, but it's really your call.
Yeah.
It was a pretty much the Supreme Court said it. That's it. That's the law, buddy. Like, I mean, we've interpreted the law. If you want to spend all your billions of dollars to pay lobbyists, which you already do, to go and try to get a new law enacted, that's on you. But we have interpreted what is currently
and precedent
on
has
the
already been
books.
set, so it's going to be a lot harder to get it overturned now. But yeah, so that's moving on. Las Vegas Raiders defensive end Carl Nassib became the first active player to announce he is gay. Nassib made the announcement on Instagram saying, I've been meaning to do this.
It just slipped my mind. It was just,
I've been meaning to do this for a while, but I finally feel comfortable enough to get it off my chest. So, that's, it's good to see that players are up, because I'm sure he's not the first gay NFL player.
No, there was that one from Missouri. Yeah.
But I'm sure other than there was
got cut.
Yeah. And I'm sure there were many, many other NFL players who were not open.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This is not the first gay man that ever played in the NFL. It's just the first actively open gay man that played in the NFL. And, it's awesome. It's awesome for a whole group of people. It's awesome but like the thing is, it's perfect for him because he plays for the Raiders. And so nobody's even going to be thinking about him being gay. They're just going to be like, dude's a Raider. He's terrible. So, I mean, is there anything else bad about him that we can hate on this guy for? It's like, nothing that comes to mind. Mostly just the Raider thing. No, but that's really awesome. I'm glad to see it. And he was a pretty high draft pick too, right?
Yeah, I think this is his second year with the Raiders, sixth year in the league. I think he has about 25 career sacks. I think he's their starting defensive end. He's a good athlete. I mean, obviously he's an NFL player, but he's
all right. He's all right.
But all right, ESPY's Best Athlete in Men's Sports finalists have been released. Tom Brady, Lewis Hamilton, Nikola Jokic, and Connor McDavid. I'll be honest, man. Jokic. I love Tom Brady. The man should not be for ESPY's Best Athlete.
No.
Best football player? Sure.
If it was, yeah.
And even then,
athlete.
It's like, honestly, like, listen, he's the GOAT, but we're talking about best football.
He rolled in playing with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Like, athlete means something. Patrick Mahomes, an athlete. Tom Brady, well, yes, technically an athlete, not the best athlete on the field.
I would absolutely say that there has been no point in Tom Brady's career in which he should be considered the best athlete in sports. Okay. Yeah. Again, like you said, greatest football player, best quarterback, arguments are made for best all time. That dude runs like a sub 4.9. Okay. Like, he is not the athlete. I think it's Jokic, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean,
McDavid is great, and don't get me wrong, but I think falling into that category of best athlete, I think you got to get out of the first round. I think you got to get out of the first round. Well, not just that.
Like, when I think athlete, I think athleticism.
Yeah.
Being an NBA player, listen,
he's a big man that is all over the court.
I'm sure Connor McDavid is one of the most fine-tuned athletes in the world, but at the same time, you put him on a basketball court, Jokic, you give him 2 weeks to learn how to skate, and he's a natural born athlete.
Yeah, I would agree that I think Jokic is the winner here. Although I don't know a whole lot about Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah. But I'm very confused that there's not one European football player. Like, where's Cristiano Ronaldo? Where are those guys?
They are. I think they.
Is this America? Is this North America only?
I don't know, but I just think that they are swimming in their swimming pools full of cash.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say, because honestly,
nomination.
Cristiano Ronaldo is a better athlete than all of these dudes probably combined.
Yeah, and I would even, not even being a huge LeBron James fan, I would find it hard to argue that he isn't the best. And I guess I would imagine that he's won best athlete before and stuff. I think this is more like best actor, like in the Grammys type of, not Grammys, the Oscars type of stuff, to where it's really talking about the best sports star of the year.
Yeah.
So, but I still think it's Jokic, no question in my mind.
All right, getting into our main topic today, we got our playoff coverage. Currently, as we're sitting in the semifinals, the Lightning lead the Isles 3-2 after a whooping last night.
They almost got 2 wins for winning last night. 8-0.
Almost got mercy ruled out there, man.
8-0. I was doing, before I knew we weren't doing the fantasy show today, I was doing some research for that, and I was looking at the points, the playoff points. Like the first 8 are Lightning players. Like it is ridiculous, like how many points they have. That has been a good series, though, man. Yeah. That has been a really good series.
Both these semifinal series have been really good.
They really are.
I really hope, if it works out, and as long as as long as my sweater comes in time, we're wearing our Habs jerseys for the Saturday show.
Hopefully, and if yours doesn't come in time, I'm gonna still wear mine, bro.
No, that works.
Forget you, bro. Forget you. Yeah. Order something earlier.
I'll wear my Hurricanes one or something, or my Vancouver, just so we keep it Canadian.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Hey.
But yeah, so it's been a great couple series. But yeah, dude, it's been. I'm kind of happy that in our online stuff, none of us got Kucherov like super late and like snuck him in there, because whoever had Kucherov right now between you and I, if one of us had Kucherov, that would be the guy in the lead.
Yeah,
Kucherov has been killing it. So I'm kind of happy that he kind of stayed on the bench. But yeah, so I got real lucky in that last night's game that, you got a lot of Tampa players. Somehow my guys just got it.
I don't have too many. I think I have Braden Point and Vasilevsky, which is, essentially.
Yeah, and I think so. I might actually have more. I've got Palat and Hedman.
Yeah, I mean,
and Stamkos.
Those, I think I have like something like 384 points, and I have 118 are from Point and Vasilevsky.
Yeah.
So,
all right. We are flying through.
Did we even mention? Did you say Golden Knights and Habs are tied at 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey everybody, Golden Knights and Habs, they're tied at 2. So,
in case you didn't know.
In case you didn't.
Let's get straight into our joke of the week.
The weird. Corey Perry. See, I don't like that. Wild. I think the first read was a good one. Now I'm overthinking it. Outlandish.
Each 6th chick sat on a stick. Little tongue twister.
And downright dumb.
You're kidding me.
It's time for the joke of the week.
All right. This one comes from Down Under.
Oh, Down Under, hey?
Yeah. Didn't even think about that when we did the Foster's video. But after this one, I've actually got one very kind of like this that I want to talk about comes from our in-house medical correspondent.
Oh.
This came from her and an experience she had at her new job.
We saw her the other day.
Yeah.
It's always good to see our in-house medical correspondent.
And it's important that I'm not going to mention where she heard this story because it's at her brand new job. But, if you know her, you'll know where it comes from. But let's jump straight into this one. Boys at a Northern Beaches Anglican school were told to choose the qualities they looked for in a girl from a list that allocated more points for virginity, looks, and strong Christian values rather than generosity or adventurousness.
I think this is gonna, before ever even like really scoping out the actual article, I think this is gonna go the opposite way that they think it's gonna go. Like this chick she loses so many points because she bangs so many guys. It's like, oh really? Which one? Because I just would want to avoid her if
the year 10 male students, which I believe would be like juniors, I think.
Year 10 sophomores.
Well, I think that they do different. I think they only go up to like year 11 in England.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess they,
or maybe year 10 is I don't know. Year 10 might be seniors. I don't know. Either way, year 10 male students. So they're, probably 16, 17 at a co-ed St. Luke's grammar school. I'm very confused because I thought grammar school was young, but I don't know. Why don't you look up what year 10 is in Australia?
I'll do that. You can continue.
Before we start talking about like 4-year-olds or something.
Right. I don't want to turn this into a charge.
Yeah. The year 10 male students at co-ed St. Luke's Grammar School were separated from the female students for the Christian Studies exercise in another classroom. Girls were given articles to read about why remaining a virgin until marriage was important. The female
between 15 and 16, so probably sophomore.
Okay. The female students were furious when they heard about the exercise given to the boys. All the girls were disgusted and really offended, rightfully so. The boys described their task as build a bitch.
I told you, man. I already told you, like, this is going the absolute opposite way that you think it's going.
The school's headmaster, you already know this guy's the villain. He spells Jeff, Geoff.
Oh, Geoff?
And it's Lancaster. Like, that dude is like a Game of Thrones villain. Jeff Lancaster.
Geoff.
The school's headmaster, Jeff Lancaster, late last week sent parents a letter to apologize and address the year 10 students directly on Monday.
That was my bad, guys.
Whoever thought this was a good idea should obviously be fired.
Right. That was their marketing guy. It was just like, look, we need an idea. He's like, I just watched for the first time ever this dope movie called The Social Network. And this dude became rich after he did a website ranking girls against each other.
Not just that, but this seems very complicated, and I think that's not necessary. The boys were a slide was projected onto the whiteboard telling the boys they had 25 points to allocate on qualities they would look for in a girl. The qualities worth 6 points in the exercise included popularity, loyalty, good looking, attractiveness, intelligence, a strong Christian, and kind, and conservative, and virgin, and trustworthy. Seems like a lot of different things you're just throwing in.
This is like a whole lot. It's a whole lot.
The 5-point qualities included being physically fit, easy to talk to, fun sense of humor, and wise, while the 4-point qualities included sporty, sexy, goes to church, honest, doesn't lie or cheat, and is friendly.
I like strong Christian being 6 points, but just goes to church. Like, you still get 4, but like, she's a weak Christian.
Then you got 3 points, well-dressed and groomed, artistic, good manners, good pedigree? That's cringy. Ambitious goals, hardworking, great kisser. Again, owns a car. Owns a car, bro.
You get 3 points for having a car.
They got good credit score.
That's great.
2 points for the right height, good at school, brave, stands up for rights, socially competent. 1 point, favorite hair color, favorite eye color, has money, sincere and serious, generous, adventurous, similar beliefs, cares for the world, comfortable, even in quiet moments. This is an outrageous.
Can I say real quick on the 2-point list of stand up for rights? It was like a trick. Like, anybody that got mad about it, they're like, boom, that's a 2-pointer right there. Yeah. This is absurd.
Yeah.
I'm like blown away by it. I wonder if there were girls that were attempting to get the lowest score possible. Like, they're like, look, the favorite hair color thing, like, I am just so confused about it. Like, I would like a video demonstration of how you.
I'm surprised like they didn't do it and then have like an assembly, like just saying, "All right, girls, here's how you here's how you ranked this week."
So you get 25 points. Do you have to pick one from each, or
I'm still very confused.
Let me just do the quick math. 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. No, that only equals 21. So like
so they have to prioritize what is important. Okay, but you can't have everything from the 6-point list if that's what you care about.
But it seems like they put all their like favorite stuff in the 6-point list, you know, like.
So
like, I wanna.
But at the same time,
wish I could have a virgin, but I've already allocated most of my points. So
this is it's just so weird. I want to know what happened in the teacher's room when they were like designing this. Like, this is gonna go over great, guys.
Like,
does this make sense to everyone? And the female teachers were like,
I feel like I would want to go in and be like, look, if I'm being honest, I've only spent like 8 of my points, and they're mostly on 1 because you did the dope stuff at the very bottom. Favorite hair color, eye color, has money, sincere and serious. You know what? Cancel that. No sincere and serious. Is there a generous? Obviously, we want to. They got a lot of money. I want them to be generous as well. similar beliefs. They also believe in giving me their money, cares for the world. I'm a part of this world. They care about me. Comfortable, even in quiet moments. What even is that? Right height. That's, you get 2 points for that. Like, I would really love to, as much as I don't want to see this in action, I would love to see this in action. I just wanted to see some of these 15 and 16-year-olds allocate their 25
This sounds
points.
like this legit sounds like something straight out of The Handmaid's Tale.
I've never seen it, but it sounds like it. Yeah. I mean, I've never seen the show personally, but
It's this school.
It's it sounds just like it.
So the second one, we got a big twofer this week. So this is at a local Nashville school that is it's a private school. Not going to tell the name. A teenager walks in. He's an athlete there, and he asks, hey, how come colleges require so many shots and vaccines? And he's told, well, there's a lot of people from the world who come there. They want to make sure everyone has their vaccine. He's like, cool. Well, I have my vaccine. Does that mean I still have to use protection when I have sex? And he's asking a person, not my family members,
not our medical correspondent.
Yeah, not our the person.
Stop calling our medical correspondent your family member. It's really delving into the fact that we have a medical correspondent.
Yeah, our medical correspondent. This is not who has asked this question. It was her predecessor, and they had to think for a moment. It's like, well, do I tell them the truth or do I have to tell them the bullshit that the school wants me to tell them? So they're like, well, first off, don't have sex. But yes. Use vaccine. The COVID vaccine does not help you against STDs.
But it helps against COVID.
Yeah. So this kid was just going off to college thinking that a COVID vaccine was going to help him against STDs.
Locking it down, dude. This dude's going to have his first experience. He's like, he's taking this chick back to his dorm and she's like, do you have protection? He's like, yeah.
Pulls his arm up.
Obviously.
Got the shot.
Obviously, I'm 2 weeks out from the Pfizer, baby. What up? What up? And he was like, just to be safe, though, I went to another clinic across town.
Yeah.
Got the Johnson & Johnson, too.
I got all 5.
I'm the most powerful man on earth.
Yeah. I'm pretty much Thanos of vaccines.
I will not have kids for years, okay? So he's like, but I am planning on getting my booster. So, yeah, wow. I mean, both of these... what a joke, right? Like, also, you know what? I think obviously this is horrible. The biggest joke, though, is that Australia private schools call their high schools grammar schools, which is what I'm the most disturbed about. That's they should have known grammar by. I mean, I guess they are Australian, but sorry, Keith, I didn't mean it, Keith. I didn't mean it, but yeah, I'm blown away. St. Luke's, what's up with you, bro? Medical correspondence school. What's up with you, bro? What up? What a joke. You guys are getting on par with my boy James Dolan, which we have not heard from in a while. I feel like we need to bring back some past stories.
I think he's staying quiet because the Islanders are doing decent in the playoffs, so he doesn't want to be a distraction right now.
Should we provoke something from him? Should we tell him that Spike Lee wants to reignite the beef?
Yeah. You heard it here first.
It's on. James Dolan, beef's back on.
Yeah.
From Spike Lee.
Spike Lee called you a bitch.
He called you a little baby back. What up, dude? What up?
All right, let's move into pop culture. We are covering Thunderball and You Only Live Twice. Thunderball was really good.
Awesome, dude. It was so awesome.
You Only Live Twice,
It's
not
really
horrible.
hard to know for sure.
Yeah, I don't remember much from it.
The last half of the movie was rough.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of the plot. I remember the one satellite deep throating another satellite.
Yes, there was a lot of satellite
and
deep
a
throating.
lot of racism.
A lot, but it was a little less racist than we previously went into it thinking it was going to be. Like we thought that there was going to be like some straight up, racism towards
like
Asians,
slurs.
like slurs, and there really was not that. And the one thing that was fairly racist, which I mean I would imagine not racist at the time, but as things progress, it was just more insensitive. It seemed like like they gave James Bond a makeover to make him look Asian, but like they
It was just
really
his eyebrows and his
didn't.
hair.
They really didn't. Like I thought they were straight up gonna like paint this dude, and it was not like that at all. It was more like
It would
They
have been
taught
really
him
funny if
they-
he came out like a geisha.
they taught him like a little kung fu and stuff, and then they were like, "Look,
He
you
went to
can't,
ninja school.
you can't slick back your hair anymore. We gotta brush that forward." And that was really pretty much it.
Yeah.
I think he banged some guy's daughter for sure.
Something like that.
Pretty much.
I think at first he said no. Eventually he talked his way into it
Right.
on a boat or something.
a lot less sexual assault
Yeah.
than the others, though. Thunderball was rampant with the assaults. It was a really
like
good
right out the
movie.
gate.
Like right off the bat,
Blackmail and extortion.
he was threatening to get somebody fired if they didn't. The conversation went exactly like this. It was, "Please don't tell my boss. I'll get fired." And he's like, "Silence has a price." And then they were begging. And so it was rough as far as, but it was the most spy-like movie to me.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed Thunderball. Some guys got, the bad deal, the end of the deal on it, for sure. Like the guy that saved I never remember the girls' names, unless it's like something overtly sexual, like
Pussy Galore.
Yeah, Pussy Galore. I remember her,
Yeah.
but it was not her. It was another girl, one of the Spectre agents, number 2. His like, I guess what I could only assume was like his, butler, his lackey, his second in command type of deal. Grew a little bit of a conscience and saved the girl. And then James Bond was like, "Oh, here you go. Here's a life preserver." They're on a boat. He tosses him out. He's like, "I don't know how to swim." He's like, "There's no better time to learn." And then they get out on the life raft and they get saved, but never address the guy that they've allowed to die in the elements out there. Let's say that he did learn how to swim. He did have a life preserver, and there was an island close. It was on fire and blown up, but let's say that he did learn how to swim. He was legit in like the middle of the ocean. So they let him die.
they were about a mile off the shore because remember they
but do
were
you
a mile
think
off the shore.
did that guy look like he could swim a mile? No.
But I mean, you knew the Coast Guard. I mean, the Coast Guard just lost like 30 men. They were hopefully sending backup.
Yeah,
because
but
they were like, "Do we need guns? No, we have harpoons. Should we use our advantage of being above them? No, let's go on level with them."
We're gonna give this an even bar. Yeah, you're saying the Coast Guard definitely found him, but like the Coast Guard within this movie
incompetent.
had very poor tactics. Like you knew that that everything that was happening with the nuclear weapons and stuff was happening. Was your Navy not on alert? Like
we're talking about a nuclear warhead.
I mean, Pensacola has like one of the biggest Navy bases in the country. Like that can't be that far to like spread out your Navy.
Yeah, this was definitely a Navy job, not a Coast Guard job. When a nuclear bomb by terrorists is right off the coast of Miami.
Right. Like you're battling underwater agents, but it just seems like you could
Also
have just
very
like,
confused on the tactical choice to go in with bright orange Speedo suits.
It was not smart. It was not
and
smart.
to bunch up. Like we're talking about like in the fact the underwater fight, the harpoon versus harpoon crew was just insane.
Well, James Bond took it to a different level,
He just
he just literally started murdering people by pulling their hoses out of the oxygen, and I would imagine the pressure probably just dead.
Again, no, they were only like 15 feet under the surface.
No,
That's what it looked like. There was still a lot of light where they were. Everyone could see pretty clear.
That's a movie, Bobby. They were deep, dude. They were deep in there. You made a really good point, and I don't want to steal your point that you made. It was almost like they ran out of budget because it seemed like there was going to be massive shark attacks, and they just had them harpooned to death.
Yeah.
So
like when he was in the plane and the shark was following him, I thought, okay, this is
all right,
clearly
here's he's gonna have to fight the shark.
And he just leaves. I think that there's an extended cut where like he fought the shark and they're like, "Oh, we can't do that."
It's like, no, that's racist against sharks. Okay, we're going into the next movie and we're going to use all our racism chips on that one. Okay, they were both good. I think we've said this a couple times. I was very surprised about how I enjoyed Sean Connery. I do stand by both of our original statements he makes James Bond more military-esque, where he's more of a soldier than a spy. And Stephanie's brother-in-law, I guess soon to be my brother-in-law, what up? We were talking about he's a huge fan of James Bond movies, and he has the whole box set type of deal.
I was looking at
it.
It's expensive.
Yeah, he's like a huge fan. And when I said that to him, he's like, yeah, I can really see that, what you're saying. Like, he agrees. He was a Pierce Brosnan guy as well. Like, he's the most James Bond-esque of the group. So, good movies, though. We're moving on to George Lazenby.
Yeah, he's got a couple, and I think our next drinking game one is, yes, The Man with the Golden Gun will be our next drinking game. And then after that, we've got Roger Moore's The Living Daylights, which, again, I think I've literally never heard of that one. So we might have to maybe not do the last one, because I don't want to do one if it's really bad. And since I've never even heard of that one, but we'll probably do that. Then we're not doing one for Dalton. He's just got License to Kill, but then GoldenEye, Brosnan's first one, we're gonna do a drinking game.
Yeah, we're gonna actually do the Austin Powers break.
Yeah, we're gonna do and we'll probably do the trilogy all at once. Do a drinking game for the trilogy. Just pick a day and watch the whole trilogy. But let's jump into questions from the internet.
It's 500 years from now, and you're the person in charge of naming this era. What would you call it?
500 years, so that's pretty much 2,500.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really good job. It's really 2,521, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 25,
close
21.
enough.
Yeah, I mean, for your math skills, yes, you are right on point.
I mean, wow, that's a big ask. To name an era.
I know. I'm calling it old tech, because I would imagine 500 years from now, either we're all dead or...
Wait, we're naming the era we're in now, or we're naming
current
the
era.
Oh, okay. I thought we named the era.
Naming this era.
Okay, I thought we were naming the era in 500 years.
No.
Oh, so what
we would not. We would have no clue.
Okay, so we're naming this. I would call it the Big Change. Because when you think about what happened in this era, like, how long is the era, first off? I would consider this current era from the end of World War II to I would say 2030, maybe. I mean, I don't know how long an era is, so it's kind of hard to know.
An era in geology is probably not what we're looking for several 100 million years.
Yeah. All right. So the term era is very loose, because since we're not going to use the geology term. So at first I was thinking, maybe the end of World War II to but I think more than that, the era we're in now, I would have to say what I would call the big change is the beginning of the .com boom. Kind of changed everything.
2000 forward. I'm thinking 2000.
I would say 1995 is when the .com bubble started.
Sure, but it was just, that was not the era of the internet that we know.
Yeah.
That was just there were some chat rooms and internet was being used.
But I would definitely, when historians
things.
look back, I also think that they're going to see a tremendous change in culture when culturally we started speaking out against injustices. I know we don't want to get too much into that, but at the same time, in 2010, people weren't there wasn't as much people fighting for social justice as there is now.
I guess that's the point.
I would say
that's the point that I'm trying to make, though.
I would say 1995 to 2020 was such a massive, I would say there was more technological advancement in that time period more than any other.
So I'm calling it old tech.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The reason that this is happening is it's not that it wasn't happening.
It's just more well known because of all the videos.
Everybody is available to say something. Something, do something, whatever you want to say. So
yeah. So I would say the big change, you'd say old tech.
I'm calling it old tech.
Okay. You got another one for us?
I do. If you were stuck in any food and had to eat your way out of it, what would it be? I'm gonna choose the same thing I always choose for all of this kind of stuff.
Choosing pizza?
Yeah, no question.
Yeah. So here's the thing. If you're stuck in pizza, are you like flat?
I would imagine flat.
Okay. Because I feel like a Scotch egg would be easy to get out of. You get a lot
I'm
of
not
different...
worried about easy, bro. I'm trying to eat a full-bodied man pizza, dude.
Oh, so I'm thinking I'd be shrunk down to the size of the pizza. The pizza's enlarged to the size of you?
Well, whichever.
Oh,
Does it really matter, though?
Well, I mean, kind of. I think a little bit, but probably not.
Why?
But I'm just thinking from the exterior view, like seeing a life-size Scotch egg would be pretty terrifying for some people.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, there's not many things that I feel like I could eat a body size of, and I think pizza is one of those things. Maybe ice cream.
Yeah, the brain freeze would get on you quick, though. But yeah, I'm gonna go with pizza.
Yeah, pizza's the obvious answer here.
Or a waffle.
Yeah, see, it doesn't say you get all the fixings to it.
Yeah,
Like, if you
true.
just have a cheese pizza, like, it's still delicious, but like just a waffle, like, bro, I don't want to eat my way out of bread.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe garlic bread?
Ooh.
Not bad.
But again, does that
pizza.
not? Does the garlic bread come with the fixings of garlic?
I'm getting pizza. Yeah, because garlic bread itself is made with garlic.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that, it would have to. I mean, we get to make it up, and that's all it says. We get to choose. Like you're trying to get deep into
well, you
it. Like,
were telling
I
me
didn't
my
write the
waffle doesn't
card
get the fixings
because the waffle is a waffle in itself. A garlic bread is not garlic bread without the garlic. It's just bread, Bobby.
toast.
It's just toast, dude. It is just toast. So yeah, pizza's the obvious answer to me, but there's a lot of other good candidates.
Yeah.
But I just don't feel like I could eat my way out of it.
All right, you have to be haunted by a ghost for the rest of your life, but it could be any dead person you want. Who are you choosing? Oh, and only you can see and hear them. I haven't really given it much thought yet.
Oh, I have already given it the most thought. Are you really want me to drop this knowledge on you,
Yeah.
dude? You're gonna be very sad. I
mean,
promise.
Okay.
Steve Irwin, dude. No question. I
good
told you, dude, you're
It's a
going to
good
be
one.
very sad. Like, cause like, what a dope ghost. He's like, oh, wow. He's like, don't swat that wasp. He's a beaut. You know, like, I'm like, dang, Steve Irwin, you're right. I'll let this dude sting me. I told you, bro. I told you didn't want me to go first,
I'm trying
bro.
to think, and I'm like trying to think of all the dead celebrities and like who would be. I mean, I kind of want to say Sean Connery just so he can like, I can like, not to be friends with him, just so he can see what life is.
Sexually assaulter. He's just going to be
He's
in
like,
your
what is
ear.
this? Why are you asking for consent?
he's like, oh no, this is a joke. He's acting right now. That's why he's not sticking his penis inside of her. I got a couple others that I think would be pretty dope. Not really sure what they do for me, but Ben Franklin would be fine. I mean, this dude would be inventing all sorts of shit, dude. He'd be like, hey, that's awesome little machine you have there. Try to do this with it. And I'd be like, that's sick, Ben Franklin. Thanks. Freddie Mercury would probably be a fun person to follow around. I feel like Martin Luther King would look down on me for my lifestyle. So I'm not, he's a reverend and stuff. Like, I'm just going to steer clear of the church folk for sure.
Albert Einstein, just become the smartest man in the world, pretty much.
No, see, I feel like I hear what you're saying, but like, I just don't feel like it'd be like that. Like, it feels like he's just not going to be able to communicate with me properly.
Yeah.
He's too smart, you know? George Carlin. That is a top notch, or Mitch Hedberg, if we're going comedian style. Either of those two would be fantastic.
How would Heath Ledger be? That could be fun for a little bit.
Maybe until he
Who would be
starts
the-
trying to convince you to do heroin.
Yeah, who would be the worst? Because I already know who the worst for me would
Okay.
be. Robin Williams would be the absolute fucking worst.
Well, you do hate the guy.
Not just
so-
that, but like it would be like that episode of. Have you seen the episode of Family Guy where Robin Williams keeps cloning himself, but he only plays different characters that he plays? Like Peter Griffin like makes a wish, and he's like, I wish everyone was Robin Williams, and everyone in the world is different versions of Robin Williams. He's like, this is too much, and everyone they're all making like, ha 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 ha, I'm Robin Williams in this, ha ha, hey there, ha ha, laughter will fix you, and it's like, oh my god, and he just ends up.
I do have one more good follower, Mr. Rogers. would be awesome. Number one.
Ooh, you know who? J.R. Tolkien.
Yeah, that would be sweet. Except for he'd just describe everything that he saw to you.
Imagine your entire life narrated by J.R. Tolkien, though. Like, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, but like, you know, when you walk out the door and you're on the 6th page of The Bird that chirped at you, dude, it's just like, I got stuff to do today. The world's a little faster pace now, Jay. I think a not fun one, Walt Disney does not seem like he would be a fun guy.
Man, the anti-Semitism from him would just get insane.
Not even the racism at all. Like, if obviously that's a downer for sure, but just like it just feels like he's trying to make everything magical, but like within his own terms of magical. Like he's like, oh, this is such a magical day. It'd be so much better if that Jewish guy wasn't over there. It's like, shut up, Walt. Get out of my face, dude.
Stan Lee would be.
He would be awesome.
What
he would
about
be
Hugh Hefner?
good.
Would that be?
Hugh Hefner.
I feel like
sick.
the problem with that is I feel like like as a married guy, he'd be like, he would be in hell. He'd be like, well, this is just the worst. He'd be more mad that he's my ghost.
He's like, so no robes, huh? Not a single. Whitney Houston, though, would be terrible to be around all the time. I could definitely say that.
I'm just imagine if like we get stuck with a ghost, I get stuck with Whitney Houston, you get stuck with Heath Ledger, and they're just.
Honestly, though, Heath Ledger wouldn't be so bad until he started trying to convince you to do heroin. Yeah. You know, that would be the worst part about him.
Now, Andy Warhol would be pretty bad too, I feel like.
For sure. Any artist.
Yeah.
If you start getting into artists like Picasso, like that'd be the worst.
So depressing.
That would be the worst. You know,
Da Vinci wouldn't be horrible.
I don't know.
He would spend more time like, what is this? What is all this?
And I'll tell you, and I want to be very clear that I don't dislike this person, but I don't think I'd want him to be a ghost following me around. Kobe Bryant. That would be a rough ghost because I'm never going to do anything as good as Kobe Bryant would do.
I'd be like, man, I'm sorry I'm wasting your time here.
Right, exactly. He's like, yeah, you are. He's like, the Black Mamba can't be out, but I wish I would.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another good one.
Have you ever seen Big Mouth? I imagine it's like the ghost like that.
Yes, exactly. Chadwick Boseman would be a fun guy to have around ghost wise. You know who might be a little annoying as a ghost? Elvis would probably be annoying as a ghost.
Because it also depends on which Elvis you get. Young Elvis or old Elvis? Because two very different lifestyles.
Old Elvis for sure. Young Elvis, though, maybe. You know, because, I mean, different time. Like, he was like a really outlandish guy, but it's not like he's not like on time with it. You know, I just feel like it would be a little much. Kenny Rogers might be pretty annoying.
Yeah.
Ghost to have
Bob
around.
Marley would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that you'd ever see it. Like, he would get high and forget to follow you. He'd forget to haunt you, dude.
I mean, now we're just listing dead celebrities.
I'll tell you who would be terrible, though. Saddam Hussein. He does not seem to be like a fun guy to have as a ghost. I mean, I don't know the guy personally. He may have been fine. Obviously, we could go with Hitler. He'd be terrible. He would be a terrible follower. My lifestyle just does not mesh up with his thought process. So it would be rough. You know, like we could really get into like the nitty gritty and like be like, you know, like some random person's grandmother. like, oh, your grandmother's dead? Like, oh yeah, she haunts me. Yeah, there's plenty that would be an acceptable ghost and then a non-acceptable ghost. I'm trying to look through some list of dead people here. I mean, I'm finding lots of different options, but a lot of these people are not celebrities. It's just like they pulled up regular people. They're like, this guy's dead.
They're just going through the Nashville obituaries.
I guess so. I mean, I'm finding like philosophers and stuff. Like, I'll tell you, like I would like one of like the big Greek philosophers like Socrates or Plato or Aristotle. You know, they'd be cool. I mean, I feel like they would be like pushing their agenda on me and stuff, but like I'd just be like, suck eggs, buddy. Like I'm getting drunk today.
Yeah.
Drunk
especially
or drunk
like some people
like,
who are like, you know, big parts of history, and then you find out they're pretty horrible people.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey,
just
George
pretty
Washington,
much
my
the
ghost is like, oh, he's
standard.
pretty racist.
Yeah, but he would be like a good ghost to have. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that, like, obviously the racism is terrible, but, like, he didn't seem overtly racist. He seemed
you would just have to, like, correct him.
Generally
you'd
racist
have to be like,
at the
hey,
time.
George, buddy, got to stop calling him boy. It's getting
Yeah.
a little old now, man.
Right, man. Like, this is different times now.
Yeah.
And he's like, well,
Listen, they're allowed to drive, okay? They're allowed to vote. They're allowed to drive.
you can't call them hey you. You're gonna have to, at least in my head, you're gonna have to call them name. Although I think one of these racist ghosts is gonna like really like mess you up and like really, because they're just gonna be in the background of you. They're gonna make you more racist and sexist is the problem. That's the problem with the racist ghost, is that you're not gonna really even be able to help it because nobody else can see this ghost.
Yeah.
And so basically, it's just like an inner monologue, essentially, is what this is. And like, you know, I would imagine eventually with a terrible racist ghost that you would eventually just go crazy.
Yeah.
Trying to tell people it's like, this is not me that thinks this. It's Walt Disney. It's a Walt Disney that feels this way.
Buddy.
It feels this way.
All right. Let's move on to this or that.
Time to cast your vote. Vote your cast. Choose your pick. Pick your choice. Make a decision and take a side for this or that.
All righty. Never be able to say please or never be able to say thank you ever again.
I hate this because I'm a big pleaser and a thank youer.
Yeah.
I think there's, as somebody that it really enjoys both and does both for most things, I think there's an obvious answer to me. You got to give up please.
Yeah.
Because you can still say, form your question nicely. Like,
hey, bud, do you mind getting that for me?
Right. Exactly. But the thank you thing is like a rough thing to give up.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I would have to say giving up plea, because then you can't even hit them with a like, I mean, I would imagine it's your
Just
question.
Dope.
You can't be like, no problem, because that's essentially I guess that's
an
you're welcome.
place for
That's
you're welcome, which would have been easy to get rid of. I don't.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. You know, like,
because I
you
don't
can't
like.
hit them with gracias. You know, like, you know
Yeah, that's
what
the
I'm
different
saying?
language.
Gracias, buddy. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm guessing you can't be like hit him with like an I appreciate you. You know, because that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, please, like, it's still a little rude to me, but like you could get away with it without it.
Yeah, you just have to be
seeming
like,
rude.
you have to, on the upfront, you like, hey man, is there any way you could do me a huge favor? And then like,
I would be so appreciative of
Yeah.
that. You know, like there's so many ways.
but I feel
to
like even
say
that, like, I
please.
feel like this should be like the get rid of like the, so if it would make it harder where it's like, you can't even say something that replaces it. Like you have to choose to be rude on the front or the end. And I'm still choosing to be rude on the front because like they don't have to do it for me.
Exactly.
But like if they do something for me that I didn't ask, then I have to be rude about it. And I'm like, oh
yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give up the please,
Speaking
no
of this,
question.
I do not like saying you're welcome for some things. Because for example, if it's something that I'm like have no problem when I hear people say you're welcome, it makes me think that they like it was like a bother to them. So like if I do something that is not a big deal for me, I don't say you're welcome. I say no problem because it wasn't a problem.
Well, that is
when I hear you're welcome. When I say you're welcome, it makes me. I feel like they think that like it was way out of my way and I didn't want to do it.
Well, that is the difference between the two, honestly, though, is that you're welcome is saying that this was something that was out of my way, whereas no problem means that it wasn't any problem.
Yeah.
This wasn't.
And-
It's literally the difference between the two.
And obviously, our generation, like we recognize that, but boomers, they don't. Boomers, if you don't say you're welcome, they're like, that's rude. I'm like, well, no, because it wasn't an issue for me. It wasn't a bother to me. So I'm not.
It was no problem. This is like you say thank you to somebody that's at their job, and it's like no problem. Like I had to do it.
Yeah.
You know, like this is part of my job for sure. There is a big difference between those two, while not being any difference at all, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Which, the show a lot of times does not. So,
But all right, let's move on to what's snapping your stick.
Bobby and Brandon are about to find out exactly what snaps their sticks.
I'm going to give you a chance to keep thinking.
Yeah. Well, I've got mine now. I just didn't
Okay.
write it down.
Okay.
So if you want me to go, I can. If you want to go first, go
Doesn't
for it.
matter.
So
Go for it.
this is going to start this off with a question. if you're at a traffic jam, how far away from the next turn up is it okay to start driving on the side, on like the side, not a side road, but like the shoulder of the road? How far off is it okay to get on the shoulder and drive up to the next turn?
I would say you got to be within sight distance of that turn lane. It can't be a long way, in my opinion.
So last week I was on 231 coming into Murfreesboro from Shelbyville. I was stuck in a traffic jam, and the only reason I could see the red light is because I'm up on the higher part of the hill. It was a good 1.5 miles, 2 miles.
Yeah, it's too far.
And people are on the shoulder zooming past me. Now, the problem is the accident was so bad, they were detouring people to that turn. So people, when the guy on the shoulder got there, the people in the lane to go straight were having to turn right.
Yeah. Because
there was no turn lane. It's just he turned right. So then he got caught at that light trying to turn into a single lane, and then everyone got screwed up. And I mean, it was a lot of cars doing that.
Way too far. It's got to be pretty much like where you were already going to be rolling over anyway.
Yeah.
If you were already prepping the turn.
Yeah, and that's what snapped my stick. It's just assholes on the road. I know it's one of my, listen,
95% of our complaints that are not sports are just basically people driving.
Oh, dude, I felt so bad this past weekend. I was driving and I accidentally blocked the box because somebody in front of me stopped way too early. I would have had it, but the guy in front of me left like a full car's length in front of him.
But it's on you.
Yeah.
It's on you.
And luckily, I was like looking at the red light on my left. I'm like, all right. And I was able to go before it turned green. So I ended up not blocking the box, but I waved to the guy because the guy, I saw the guy do the, I was like, my bad. And I think he could tell the guy in front of me stopped way too early.
He stopped short. Yeah. He was and this guy.
But at the end of the day, I was the one blocking the box.
Right. I did today I had to go to the office and get some supplies. And so I was turning into a gas station. I needed some gas. And I had a similar situation where the guy was waiting way too far back for somebody to back up. And now I'm kind of blocking the road. And so I hated myself. I did the courtesy wave as well. You can hate me. It was like that time that somebody was blocking the box in Nashville before a Preds game. And I was honking and yelling at them and stuff. And they hit me with this. They hit me with the hands up at the bus in front of them. And then it's yeah, but you did that. You went in the road. You didn't have to go in the road. I'm with you. I'm with you. I hate it when I'm that guy, but it's a big man to admit when they're that guy, Yeah. So, I have a sports and a non-sports. Well, sort of. My sports is the inside information guy. I heard that this is happening. And it's they have no real information. They just heard somebody else say it. And so, yeah, just the I heard guy, the inside info guy. That's, it's one thing you're just chatting it up with your boys or whatever. And it's hey, I've been reading about this or whatever. But just you're talking to somebody random and they're hey, I've got the scoop for you. I heard that. And it's not remotely true whatsoever. So the inside information guy snaps my stick for sure. I have an anti-snaps my stick. Bro.
I guess it's both of our anti-snaps our sticks.
You can't tag along on
I'm
this.
tagging on.
You can't tag on it.
Consider it tagged.
Bro, we are recording at Tailgate this week.
Yeah.
I think I've told this story 100 times. I love Tailgate so much. I was there for opening weekend when they came to Nashville. Had a tour from the owner. I mean, I love Tailgate. I've loved Tailgate for a long time. I'm so pumped to record there this weekend, man. I am jazzed up, brother.
All right, everyone. See some of you on Saturday, and we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @PucksOutPod.